Served with cheese or without, it's summer's best vegetable pasta today on Cindy's Certified Recipes. We're going to start off our veggie pasta with chopping up our veggies into a nice rough chop so they can go on the grill. And I'm going to start with my zucchini. You don't want things too small, nor do you want them too big. So that's about how I like it. That's probably what, 1/4 inch. I'm going to put everything in a pan over here, and then we'll bring that over later to toss them. You know, veggies tend to shrink when you cook them, so a little larger is better than a little smaller. All right, on to our red pepper, or you can use orange, yellow, whatever color you like. I like the red, just they tend to be a little sweeter in my opinion. And I like to get rid of that white rib. Big chunky pieces. I think we'll move on to carrots, and carrots are kind of an unconventional veggie for grilling, but I kind of like the color and they add a little bit of sweetness, and so you can put whatever you like, and I like carrots. And what I also like to do is I like to cut them on the bias. Another thing I like when I make this dish is asparagus, and it's really nice right now. So we're just gonna rough chop that. And next I'm going to move on to my onion, and you want a really big onion for this grilling. It's just so pretty, and it grills up, retains the color. And you want a large onion because we're going to break this in half. Half is going to be for our sauce later, and then half is going to be grilled up with the other veggies. They're just visually stunning. And you want this really chunky. We'll save that for our sauce later. We'll put this in with the other veggies. Next, I have another little unconventional thing, are these little golden potatoes. And so you can peel them or not peel them. I kind of like them peeled for this application. And then what I like to do is slice them into what I call coins. That way they'll grill up about the same rate as the other veggies. So that's what I call a coin. And we're just going to cut all those up. Those are all cut up. And earlier I sliced up 4 cloves of garlic, so I just made those into little slices that you can see. And we're going to put those in the pan. And here they are, all beautiful in the pan here. And I'm going to put on some olive oil. That looks good. And you know what? I forgot my salt and pepper, so I'll be right back. I'm just gonna sprinkle those with some sea salt. And this is all to taste. So in other words, totally up to you. You don't even have to salt and pepper them if you don't want. Or you can use herbs, whatever you like. You are the cook. And guess what? I like pepper. So now we're going to give all that a toss. They are just visually stunning, just sitting here in the pan. Summer veggies at their best. All right, now the tricky part. So I have a new best friend, you guys, and it's this cooking bag, and it works phenomenal, just FYI on that. So I'm going to pour these veggies into the pan, into this bag. Like so. Spread them around. And then you just, now my hands are slippery, you just snap it closed. And that's going to go on the grill for 15 to 20 minutes. We got our veggies out here, and we're just going to put that bag on the grill like that. That's all you do. Turn down the heat just a tad, and we're going to close that down. And then every 5 minutes or so, I'm going to turn this bag until they're the right doneness that I want them to be. All right, we're going to take a peek at these and give them a jiggle and a flip. Jiggle them around again to distribute them in the net. And let them sit a few more minutes, and we'll just keep turning them that way. Time to start our sauce. And this is so good you can do it without a sauce, but to me the sauce just adds to the flavor of our nice grilled farm fresh veggies. So this is a very simple sauce we're doing here, and I'm gonna start by putting in that other half of that onion we chopped earlier. And we're gonna let those cook down a little bit before we add some of our other ingredients. We have our onions sauteing away here. Give them a quick stir. Gonna add in, these are 4 cloves of garlic that we crushed earlier, or minced I should say, I didn't crush them. And a 1/4 teaspoon of salt that helps to get the moisture out of these things in there. Give it another quick stir. And we're going to let that saute a little bit more till we see a little more translucency with that onion. Our onions are looking great, and we're going to start adding in some tomato paste. And a couple gulps of wine. Tad bit more. It's about 1/2 cup total. And I'm going to add in healthy sprigs of thyme. I want that thyme flavor infused in that sauce. And what I did when I made my pasta is I reserved some of the pasta water that I'm spilling. And so after this boils, it's going to be a little thick, and so instead of adding something else to it, I'll add just a little bit of pasta water to loosen it up. So we're just going to let that saute here for just a minute or two. This is a pinch of red pepper flake, and when I mean a pinch, it's like if you're going to pinch someone, like a friendly pinch, just a little pinch, versus grabbing a lot of skin, this is a little pinch. So you see how that's getting thicker? I want it to be on the thick side, but I'm going to add just a little bit of the pasta water to that. And let that cook a little bit more. I want a little more infusion of that thyme. We adding in about a teaspoon of salt. Give that a taste. I'm going to pull out my thyme. Turn the heat down. And then it is time to add in some of those glorious vegetables. So we're going to add in half. About half. You can stir those in, and they'll be giving off that nice char flavor to your sauce. Isn't that beautiful? And so now we are ready to go plate that up. I'd like to show you how I like to plate up this vegetable pasta. And I previously cooked up some pappardelle al dente, and I like to put some of that pasta in with those veggies and the sauce, and then just mix that around to incorporate the pasta into that sauce with all those veggies. All right, it's already so gorgeous, you guys. And then set that aside, and then you get your serving bowl, and then you're gonna take that pasta and put it down on your plate. Hopefully neater than I did. Depending how much you want in your bowl. Clean it up if you need to. Stubborn. And then we're going to take some of those other veggies that we grilled and just lay them down and around. That. And then we're going to gotta have Parmesan cheese, and just sprinkle a little bit on there. You don't want to cover up all those gorgeous vegetables. And you can always put that cheese on the table if people want more. And then it always looks very pretty just to put a few basil leaves on there. And there is your summer harvest delicious vegetable pasta, you guys. Thanks for joining me today on Cindy's Certified Recipes. And I hope that you subscribe and hit that notification bell and the like. And we'll see you next time on Cindy's Certified Recipes. This is a fantastic dish all year, but especially sensational when the veggies are at their peak. Pick your favorites and try it soon. And as always, if it's time tested, top-notch ingredients, and the talk of the table, it's Cindy certified.